I feel like when I start to research things and then I watch these like 10-minute throw together videos, I'm just like, bro, what the it's like egregious, egregiously horrible in terms of stuff that they leave out, which sucks too, because like the production values and everything are nice, but.
We are putting a complete siege on Gaza. No electricity, no food, no water, no gas, it's all closed. We're fighting animals and are acting accordingly.
That was the defense minister of Israel, responding to the deadly attack on October 7th by Hamas, a militant group based in Gaza. Hamas launched rockets, killed over 1,400 civilians, and kidnapped close to 200 people.
Okay, they have all this in. Not too bad. I'll take it. It's fair. Back and forth. Okay.
Within days, Israel bombarded the Gaza Strip, killing several thousand, wiping out entire families,
maybe it's possible,
and striking ambulances, border crossings, and residential buildings.
Okay, that's, I mean, like, again, remember, every building in Gaza is a residential building. Every building in Gaza is a civilian building. There are no military installations in Gaza. They always operate out of civilian infrastructure. I wish people would say that. Just mention that. Hamas operates out of civilian infrastructure. It's all civilian infrastructure. Just saying, okay? Jesus.
At the same time, Israel told over 1 million civilians to leave their homes and move south, warning them of an escalation of violence in the north. But Israel is bombarding the south too.
I don't like the way this looks. Why are you making it look like Israel is just indiscriminately missile striking all of southern Gaza after telling people to flee? That's unhinged. Is that really what they're doing? There must be tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of deaths. They told all the people to flee and they're just bombing it indiscriminately. Like, but okay, all right, okay.
For as long as this conflict has existed, movement in and out of the Gaza Strip has been, to one degree or another, restricted. The Prime Minister of the Israeli occupation, Benjamin.
Okay, we've got one pro-Palestinian author here. Okay, that's fine. I'm sure we'll get probably a mix of scholars from the Israeli side and from the Palestinian side to do this video to get a good mix of views. Okay, go ahead.
Netanyahu, he knows very well that people are not able to leave.
The Gaza Strip is the smaller of the two Palestinian territories occupied by Israel since 1967. This sliver of land, only 25 miles.
Why did they occupy them in 67? Kind of sounds unjustified. No reason given there. Okay.
Long and 7.5 miles wide, is home to over 2 million Palestinians, making it one of the most densely populated areas in the world. For the last 16 years, residents here have been living under a harsh blockade that allows Israel to control the flow of electricity, fuel, food, water, and medical supplies.
That's pretty fucked up. Why do they have a blockade? That's kind of weird. Are they just like Hitler? They'll probably get to that, why the blockade exists.
So they can dictate when Palestinians receive essentials and when they're denied.
Okay, that's really fucked up. They're probably gonna get to that, why that's there.
That control is rooted in violence and destruction that goes back decades.
Okay. By who, or what do you mean? Okay.
For the establishment of Israel, Gaza was part of what became known as historic Palestine under Ottoman rule and later under British occupation.
Okay.
In 1947, as the British prepared to leave, they left the fate of Palestine up to a newly formed United Nations, who voted to divide Palestine into a Jewish state and an Arab state. Soon, Zionist forces and militias began to forcibly expel hundreds of...
Wait, who agreed to that? Who agreed to that divide of land? Are we not going to mention that?
Thousands of Palestinians from their land to establish the state of Israel.
Wow, that's insane. So the UN set some shit up and then Jewish dogs just attacked and moved out all these Arab people for no reason? Oh my God, that's wild.
Many internally displaced Palestinians.
That's horrible. Okay, let's just keep on going, I guess.
Led to this narrow stretch of land that would later become known as the Gaza Strip.
So these refugees,
like, what is this summary of events? That was 30, 40 years of history. That was a very, very, very interesting retelling of all of that, but okay.
Became refugees because...
Oh, another Youssef al-Jamal. Now, I'm not trying to stereotype. Do you think this guy's a pro-Palestinian or pro-Israeli?
They were pushed out of their towns and villages. Some of them literally live a mile away from what used to be their towns and villages.
Many others were forced to flee to neighboring Arab countries. Overwhelmed by refugees, these countries immediately declared war.
Oh, all of the Arab countries wanted to declare war on Israel because Israel was kicking all the Arabs out. Oh my God. It's not like good guy, bad guy. It's like they're all the good guys and Israel is the bad guy. It wasn't that all of these countries saw Israel that agreed to the partition plan and they were all like, nah, actually, we don't agree to that plan. We're just gonna fucking kill all of you and take your shit, fuck you. And then Britain was like, okay, peace, good luck. But no, it was all the good and holy Arab countries. It was all the good and holy Arab countries were like, you're kicking all these people out for no reason. Like, we're gonna come and save them.
Against the new state of Israel to support Palestinian Arabs.
It was in support of Palestinian Arabs. That's why Jordan, Transjordan actually, didn't just also take the West Bank for themselves also, right?
They eventually lost to Israel, but Jordan ended up occupying the West Bank.
Ended up occupying the West Bank? Like it wasn't their goal to just conquer territory in the very beginning? What do you mean ended up How does Jordan just magically end up occupying the West Bank? Who was it? Was it King Abdullah the First that was literally in contact with Israel trying to make deals over like land and shit? Come on, really?
And Egypt occupied Gaza City and nearby towns along these ceasefire lines. Then in 1967, another war broke out.
What was the cause of this war though? I don't even know as much about the 6-Day War, but I know that this war, pretty sure had causes leading up to it as well. Up to and including, I believe it was the closure of trading routes
amid
from Egypt, right?
Palestinian resistance and fearing threats from neighboring Arab countries, Israel launched a full-scale attack on Jordan, Syria, and Egypt.
Also, no mention whatsoever of all of the Palestinian terrorist attacks from the, what are they called? The Fidea? During this time that was supported by other countries like Egypt. No mention of the fact that in territories of Jordan and Syria, these terror attacks were constantly being staged against Israel. No mention of any of that, but okay.
In just
Fedayeen, it might have been?
6 days, Israel captured the Gaza Strip and the Sinai from Egypt, the West Bank from Jordan, and the Golan Heights from Syria. This was the beginning of the Israeli occupation in Gaza that continues today. Israel took control of all movement from and to the Gaza Strip by land, air, and sea. It placed troops along this line and inside the Gaza Strip and allowed Palestinians to travel between the Gaza Strip, Israel, the West Bank, and East Jerusalem.
It's just so crazy to me because like all of this is just like, if you take this like retelling of history, and the irritating thing is, this is what I said before. I said this in chat last night. Of all the conflicts I've ever looked at, I feel like Israel-Palestine is one where you can very easily write on either side and make either side look like a fucking demon. The retelling of this just makes Israel look like fucking land-hungry, settler terrorist, imperialist dogs. They're like horrible. They kicked out all these poor Arabs for no fucking reason. They go to war with everybody preemptively for what fucking reason. They occupy land and oppress people here. Like, we're not gonna mention the reason for any of this?
Jerusalem. But just a few months after the war, even though Palestinians now lived under Israeli control, they began to be referred to as non-citizens or foreign residents in official Israeli documents.
You inherit this status from your parents and grandparents, being stateless.
Like, we're not going to mention that Israel gave back that whole Sinai Peninsula. We're not going to mention that they gave back they didn't give back the Golan Heights. They gave back, what was the territory to the east? I think they gave back to Jordan. What was it called? None of that is going to get mentioned. Oh, do they still own it? It hasn't happened yet? Oh shit, maybe, I'm sorry. Maybe they don't get there yet. They'll get there in a sec, my bad.
Unrecognized, with no rights. And, this impacts your life.
This was also when Israel started to build settlements for Jewish Israelis.
Did they give it back or did Egypt take it back? No, I'm pretty sure Israel gave it back because I think, like I said, we haven't gotten to the 6-Day War yet, so I can't be screwed up. But I'm pretty sure the rest of the world was looking at Israel and they're like, guys, you need to give some of your shit back, okay? Because you guys are going You guys are going ham. You're out of control, okay? And I'm pretty sure at that point, there were 3 big chunks of land that Israel took. One was the Sinai Peninsula, and they were like, okay, f you, Egypt. They gave it back. The second was some part to the east. I don't remember. And I think they gave it back to Jordan. And then to the north, they were like, nah, we're going to keep the Golan Heights because you f***ers attack us from here way too much, so f you. And I think they still hold the Golan Heights to this day, which I think formerly belonged to Syria. That's disputed territory. It's not like officially. But also, I'm pretty sure I think the U.S. like heavily pressured Israel to give that land back. Destiny's actually annoying me with this smug ass attitude. Bro thinks he found the answer by reading Wiki for 2 days. Call me Igalo, bro. Addy got you tripping. Content cat. If I'm saying anything incorrect, I'm not even saying. Let me be clear. I'm not even saying Israel is wholly in the right or anything, but I'm just saying that this is an unbelievably one-sided telling of history. They did the same thing with Ukraine-Russia. But we'll wait for a second. Content cat in YouTube chat. If I've said something wrong, if I've missed something, feel free to educate us. You have the chance right now to smack down my smugness, destroy me. Go ahead. Let me know. We'll wait for you. They said, I'm not the one with 10K viewers. Okay. Well, you had a chance to educate all of us, and now you failed. So every Palestinian child that dies is your fault.